I've got Robert Olimene joining me. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Good morning to you. It's good to be on the show once again.
Good morning. And we've got Okpe. Okpe is standing by, of course, ready to ask those questions that will shake you up. But before I go to Okpe there, let's talk about the Saturday game. Finally, oh my brethren, Nasarawa United have gotten a point, at least 3 points in the standings for this season. But Ikorodu City, I was thinking that Nasarawa would be a good catch for them to establish themselves. But good one for them. They have a goal at least in this season from Chilaka there, thank God. So talking about that match, who needed it the most and who came ready the most to make a statement in the campaign this season, Nasarawa or Ikorodu City?
I think Ikorodu needed that game the most.
Okay.
Looking at the fact that they suffered a defeat at the hands of Rangers International. That was their first home game of the season. And of course, it was buoyed by that 1 point that they got from Akwa United in Ilori a couple of weeks ago. But riding on that 1 point from Akwa United, one would think that Oga Boys, as they're called, would be able to give a very, very good fight against Rangers International. But Rangers International are a very, very tough ask, if you ask me, as regards the fact that Ikorodu City went up against the reigning champions of the NPFL. Yes, a momentary lapse in concentration cost them that game against Rangers. But looking at the fact that for Nasarawa United, a fellow promoted team, just like themselves, one would fancy that Ikorodu City would get something out of that game. But looking at how things panned out from that particular encounter, it was more or less, should I say, not managing the game properly was what ultimately cost Ikorodu City that defeat at the hands of Nasarawa United yesterday.
Okay, I can see that you're already mistaking Ikorodu City for Remo. I'm hoping that you're not wishing them bad. You're at their home front, so I'm hoping you're not wishing them bad. But I saw Ikorodu City in that game yesterday against Nasarawa, and compared to the Ikorodu City I saw against the reigning champions, Enugu Rangers, they were more hungrier in that game against Enugu Rangers. I thought they would bring the same momentum to the game against Nasarawa, but that's not what I saw in that game for Saturday. I saw a different Ikorodu City, maybe overshadowed by Nasarawa United, and they missed a lot of chances over there in the encounter. But looking forward, what mistakes did they make? What do you think would happen to them going into match day 5? Because they really need a win, else they'll find themselves going to the second tier.
I think, yes, they need a win. It is not something that they can force at this point in time. Looking at the kind of fixtures that they have on their hands, they have some very, very tough fixtures to come. But at a point in time, like a wise man once said, that you can never be wrong all the time. And of course, one of those times you always get one thing right. For Ikorodu City, they would get a win. I am so sure of that. What time in the season it is going to come, I don't know. But I am so sure that that win will come sooner than we all expect. And of course, from there, they possibly will begin to build that is going into the season. They have 19 home games to play. Yes, 2 out of those games have ended up in a defeat. I am so sure that Ikorodu City cannot lose 19 home games this season. So definitely that one will come. And I believe that with everybody who are the ends of affairs with the club, they definitely will be able to build on that momentum going forward.
All right, I'm hoping that they do so as newcomers into the league. They should be able to, stamp their foot and, etch their name, create the buzzer that we have been looking for. But let's talk about today's encounter. To remind you of yesterday's result, of course, 2 away wins for the 2 sides were in action. We've got Ikorodu City having to finish with that loss against Nasarawa, and Akwa United lost at home to Sunshine Stars. Let me I'll get Okpe into this conversation. Okpe, you want to quiz Robert on anything concerning this game before we go into what's for today?
Yeah, definitely. It's really just about Ikorodu City and not the game for today. I think the game today we know is going to be a blockbuster. But, taking a look at Ikorodu City, their first time, in the NPFL, a lot of naysayers, I'll call them, are saying probably the team is too young. Maybe they should have, quote and unquote, sold their slots. Although the NPFL has come out and said that there's nothing like selling of slots good enough. And taking a look at the team, would you say probably the team is too young to be able to compete at the highest level of Nigerian football, or do you think maybe they just need more quality players, in your own opinion?
I would say the team is not too young to compete because they got their promotion to the NPFL fair and square. They worked hard for it. And looking at how teams are created, how they make progress, you have to more or less plunge yourself into the eye of the storm to understand whatever level it is you're operating on demands from you. This is a team that is less than 3 years old, or about less than 4 years old. Let us put it in that context. Ikorodu City is less than 4 years old. And of course, they've been able to more or less make this progress up to this stage. It is a learning curve for them. Nobody will come out now and say they want Ikorodu City to qualify for a continental spot. No one will come out and say they want Ikorodu City to win the NPFL. It is a very, very tough ask. That is for a team that is this young. So for Ikorodu City, even if they get relegated, which I am not saying they would, but even if they get relegated this season, it is going to be an experience they would learn from going into future seasons in the NPFL. Let us not forget that we have seen teams in the NPFL go down, come back up stronger, and of course they've been able to keep their place in the league. So it's a very, very tough league, a very, very tough one. And of course, what better way to learn from the NPFL than the experience itself? It will not come by gifting their slot in quotes. It will come by playing in the league, getting to understand the terrain, and of course, learning valuable lessons that they will get to more or less put to good use in the future. Secondly, about the signing of quality players. For a team that is this young, they will definitely have to work. They have to work within the limits of the budget that they have. And of course, they cannot go for players who are asking, let me use the word, an arm and a leg in terms of salaries to more or less keep their place in the league. And of course, that will also backfire one way or the other. So for a team that believes in building and of course putting young talent into use, I think this is more or less the best way for them to go.
Okay, finally for me, would it be too soon to say that they are going to get relegated?
I think it is too soon to say they are going to get relegated.
There's still 19 games to play.
I'll hold you to that.
All right.
But let's talk about Kazim, the red card. I'm sure Fidelis would sleep, wake up and say Kazim. Kazim. He would sleep again, he would wake up and he would say, Kazim, what you did to me. But it's all about the game. That's what the game is.
Yes.
Rangers, they are yet to concede, though, in the NPFL this season, and they face Remo Stars today, who have scored just the second most goals in the league, 5 thus far. Fidelis' side, though, they have played a game less compared to what Remo Stars have played. What should we expect today? You are over there, live at where the game will happen, the venue of the game. So what should we expect? What is the atmosphere? What is it feeling like right now, Robert?
Well, I would say that the feeling here is serene. The feeling here is very quiet. I came in as early as 9 a.m. this morning, and of course, it was a very beautiful scenery here. Ikene is a beautiful place, and of course, the weather is looking so perfect for football that is today, right here in the NPFL. For both teams, I think we're going to see the best of attacking football, and of course, there has been a whole lot of permutation left, right, and center. These are two coaches who know each other very well. They are very, very good friends. And I think this is one thing people should know. They are very, very good friends. They are also the current assistant coaches of the Nigerian Super Eagles. And of course, they are coaches who favor attacking football. And I believe that attacking football is what we are going to see today in Ikene. For Rangers, like you said, they are yet to be breached this season. Same thing for Remo Stars. Remo Stars are yet to concede. Last time out, it was a slim 1-0 victory over Sunshine Stars. That is in Ikene. And of course, they've gotten 2 back-to-back away wins on the season. There's a whole lot riding into this encounter today. For Daniel Ogumodede, he would want to get a very, very important win, which he did this time last season. He ended 2-1 in favor of Remo Stars, even though Rangers scored first. I was here for that game as well. And of course, he'll be looking to get all 3 points, which will take him 12 points on top of the league, and of course 5 points. That is about 8 points clear right now. That is off Fidelis Ilechukwu, who possibly will be on 4 points. That is if it ends in a victory for Remo Stars. So I think this is one advantage that Coach Daniel Ogumodede will want to take with both hands, and of course just try to make sure that he puts further distance between himself and of course the chasing pack so far. Because for the likes of Eimba, they also, after their game today, will have one game in hand, as well as Rangers International. So for Daniel Ogumodede, he would want to seize this opportunity to put distance between himself and, of course, his potential contenders going into that is the season as we see it.
So, Robert, for me, a big fixture like this, for me, in my own opinion, sometimes I think it comes too early in the season, but obviously for the fans, this is perfect, right? It's good that we have such fixtures such early. Over the last 3 seasons, we can say that both teams have been probably the best that Nigeria has had to offer, even on the continental stage and in terms of the quality of football that we see. So, going by what we've seen so far this season from both teams, in your own opinion, who do you think will come out as victors today?
I think it's going to be a tough one to call. It is going to be a tough one to call. I possibly would pick Remo Stars to be the favorite here. Why? Reason is this team has evolved. I saw Remo Stars team for the entirety of last season, and of course I've seen them play this season as well. There has been quality changes to what we have with the Sky Blues as it is. And of course, talking about the goalkeeper, the midfielders, as well as options right there in attack. Remo Stars has evolved, and of course, they look much more solid. In one of my interviews with Coach Daniel, that was on match day 1, their first match of the season, I beg your pardon, he said that the kind of resilience they have shown so far, it was something that was lacking going towards the end of last season. And I think that this is one area that they have been able to solve as it is. For Rangers, their problem, since we have seen it, that is during their continental campaign, has been getting the ball into the back of the net. And looking at their victory against Ikorodu City, a side that one would expect the defending champions to put 3, 4, 5 goals past. They only managed just 1 goal in that particular game. So I believe that for any team who will come out victorious today, it is in the area of converting their chances, which I believe that Remo Stars definitely would make Rangers International pay when it comes to the conversion of the goals today.
All right, for Fidelis Ilechukwu, who says that for those talking about our team getting relegated, I think that's the wrong term you're supposed to use, because where would Enugu Rangers get relegated to? Oh, all right, but I'm hoping that the best team wins today. But it's all about that rivalry for the best mastermind in the league. And we can see that Enugu Rangers and Remo, one big rivalry because of both coaches and what they stand for in the league and also for the national teams. Thank you so much, Robert Olimene, for joining us and your thoughts on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.